Today's topic is manufacturing industries. So, first thing, what do you mean by manufacturing? So, production of goods in large quantities by processing raw materials to more valuable product is called manufacturing. So, manufacturing industries they fall in the secondary sector. So, why in the secondary sector? Because they are producing new things by using the raw materials to a more valuable product. So people employed in the secondary activities, they manufacturing the primary material into finished goods. So workers employed in steel factories, car making, beverages, textile industry, all those working, they fall under this category. Now the economic strength of a country is also measured by the development of manufacturing industries. So economic strength means economic development of a country. It is measured by the development of manufacturing industries. We look at the countries. If you are going to look at the countries that are developed, they are developed because secondary sector or the manufacturing industries in that country is very well maintained, or they are main source of earning of that country. Economic strength means financial condition of a country. Now, importance of manufacturing sector. Why we consider manufacturing sector as the backbone of a country's development? Why so much importance is given to the industrial sector? So number one, it helps in modernizing the agriculture. So industrial sector or the manufacturing sector, it helps the agriculture sector, which is the backbone of most of the country. Agriculture sector is benefited by the industrial sector, as we can see most developed countries they use modern techniques and methods to produce, to increase the production. They use huge machineries and new seeds, which we also call HYV seeds, hybrid seeds, are being used by the agriculture sector. So by using all those things, agriculture sector is benefited. Now number second, manufacturing industries they reduces the dependence of people on agriculture's income by providing them jobs in secondary and tertiary sector. It means that country like India, where main source of employment is agriculture, that stress is shifted towards the secondary and tertiary sector. So jobs are created in secondary and tertiary sector. It removes that stress. Now number third, industrial development helps in removing unemployment and poverty. So industrial development, it should bring down regional differences, that is established. That means we should establish industries in the tribal and the backward area. Industries, if they are only being set up near the cities, it won't help the backward areas or the tribal areas. So government should look into this concept that the regional differences should be removed. Now number 4, if we are exporting manufactured goods, it would not only lead to expand the trade and commerce, but it will bring much needed foreign exchange also. Now foreign exchange means we earn from selling goods to other countries. By selling our product, manufactured product, we earn more exchange, more money from other countries. Now last, countries that transform their raw materials into a wide variety of furnished goods of higher value are more prosperous. That means if we transform our raw material into finished goods, that is having a higher value, we will earn more. So it is the need of India, or our prosperity lies in this fact that we should increase and diversify the manufacturing industry. Diversifying in manufacturing industries means new industries should be set up, even though if they are small scale industries. But if we use the same raw material in different way and we produce new things and also increase their quantity, it will make us earn more money. Now, agriculture and industry, they move hand in hand. It means that agriculture and industrial sector, they are both interdependent to each other. They work along with each other. They are not exclusive, or that means they are not working separately. So, agriculture based industries in India, they have given boost or benefit to the agriculture sector by raising its productivity and demand. These industries, they depend on agriculture for the raw material. Like the sugar industry, we can look at the concept that the sugar industry depends upon sugar cane, that is the main raw material that is produced by the farmers. Same way, textile industry, if you look at the cotton textile only, then cotton that is being produced in by the farmers is used by the cotton textile industry for its main requirement. So many industrial products like fertilizers, pumps, tractor, machinery, even the HYV seeds, they are not produced. HYV seeds are not produced in the industries, but they, along with the industrial products, help the farmer to increase the agriculture production. So the production process is made efficient by the use of industrial product that is provided to the farmer. If we compare two farmers, one who is using machinery and the other who is using manual power, we can look at the differences in the production that is being made by that farmer. So more production is done where machinery is being used because the work is done faster with the help of those machineries. So development and competitiveness of manufacturing industry has not only assisted the agriculturists in increasing their production, but they also have made the production process very efficient. Now, goods, whatever the goods that is being produced, it should be good in quantity, as they should, or they should, or they are able to compete in international market. If they are not increasing the quality of their product, they won't be able to compete in the international market. So in the present day world of globalization, our industry, it should be more efficient and competitive. We will be able to compete in the international market only then. Contribution of industry to the national economy of a country. So during the last 20 years, the share of manufacturing sector has stayed at 17% of GDP. Out of total of 27%, 17% is shared by the manufacturing sector. Rest of the 10% is shared by the mining, quarrying and other related activities of manufacturing sector. So it has not increased in the last 20 years. So this share of India, it is much lower than some of the East Asian economies where it is about 25 to 35%. So the desired growth rate that has been about 7% in the last 10 years. It has increased in since 2003 to about 9 to 10%, but the government has set up a desired rate of 12%. So for this, NMCC is being set up by the government. So NMCC means the National Manufacturing Competitive Council. It has been set up by the government to increase the growth rate of the manufacturing sector from 9 to 10% to about 12% per annum. In the next 10 years, we would be able to achieve that target of 12%. So the target, it could be achieved by the appropriate policy interventions that is being made by the government and the renewed efforts made by the industry, that means industrial sector, to improve the productivity of the manufacturing sector. So this target, due to these steps, the economists assume that the sector of manufacturing will achieve its target in the next 10 years. The concept industrial location, that means location of an industry. So the location of an industry is decided by the least cost of available material. That means if I am able to have the raw material at minimum cost, I will set up my factory in that area. It will be my main consideration. Now, second, the government policies and specialized labor also influence the location of industry. If government is providing certain benefits to me, then I am going to set up my factory in an area because I am being benefited by setting up the industry in that area. Like government provide benefits to the multinational companies to set up their industries in SEZ area. SEZ, Special Economic Zones, have been set up by the Indian government to lure, that means to attract the MNCs to work in India. So location of industry is also being affected by the government policies and specialized labor. That means if the labor is having training in handling the machineries and all those things, it also influences the location of industry. Third, availability of raw material, labor, capital, power, that means electricity, market availability, all those factors also influence the location of a factory. Manufacturing activities, they tend to locate at a place where all the factors of industrial location are either available. That means at least if 2 or 3 factors are available in that area, it could be arranged at a lower cost than I will set up my industry in that area. And industrial activity is always followed by urbanization. Normally we see that if industrial sector like RICO is being set up in an area, so in that area slowly and steadily urbanization will follow, but mostly industries are located in or near the cities. We can say that industrialization and urbanization, they go hand in hand. In the pre-independence period, we could see that most of the manufacturing units, they were located at the coastal areas such as Mumbai, Chennai, Vishakhapatnam. That is so. Why? Because they were looking into the consideration of setting up overseas trade. Their cost of working would be lowered if they set up their industries near the coastal area. So that was the main consideration in the previous years. Now, many industries, they come together to make use of the advantages that is being offered by the urban centers. It is known as agglomeration economies. Now, agglomeration economy means That means where larger market is available to me, lower transportation cost I have to bear, and benefits are also being provided to me. They will outweigh they will outweigh what? The expenses that are being rendered by me. That means the expenses that I have to pay, like taxes, rent, and all those things. I will overlook all those factors. Working in a city is quite expensive, but I will not consider them because I am having certain more benefits in that area. So agglomeration of economy is a concept that helps the industrialist in a beneficial way. In this picture, we are just looking at the ideal location of an industry. So four factors are mainly required for the ideal location of an industry. That is the cost of obtaining the raw material at the site, cost of production at site, cost of distribution of production, and decision to locate the factory at a site. All those factors I consider before locating my industry, that means setting up an industry. Now second picture, that is about the industry market linkage. That means link, what is the link between the industry and market. So inputs, whatever the input, the raw material and the factors of production, all those factors are being used by me. I start my working, then whatever is being produced I transport it. All those factors, the requirements are being used by me, they are transported. That means transport is the main requirement in the working of industrial sector. So by transporting inputs and factors of production, I transport them to the factory. So the factory, whatever is being produced, that is called the output. That means product that is being made. Then that product is being transported to the market, and for these requirement, the main requirement is money. So money is the main requirement to cover up the working, and the second main thing is transportation. So raw material is transported to the factory, and from that to the market the product is being transported, and for all those activity money is required. Classification of industries. Here we are just looking at the classification, that how we classify industry. That means we gave them the names, different names are be giving to the industries. So that classification is done according to the number one, on the basis of the raw material used. What kind of raw material is used by an industry, it means that the basis of raw material. Now agro based industries, as you can see, the word agro based means agriculture based industries are those industries that are based on raw material that is being produced in the agriculture sector, like cotton, wool, rubber, sugar, tea, coffee, edible oils. All these industries are agriculture based industries. Now second, mineral based industries. Industries that use minerals like iron, steel industry, machine tools making, petrochemical industries, where they require mineral as a source of raw material for the production. Second category is on the basis of role played by them. That means basic and key industries. So industries which supply their product as raw material to other industries to manufacture other goods. For example, iron steel industry, copper smelting, aluminum smelting. So these industries are basic and key industries for the bigger industries. They are the main requirement. So they are the main requirement, that means key requirements. So they are known as basic and key industries. Consumer industries. So consumer industries are those industries which produce goods that are being directly consumed by us. That means we consumers are using in them as they are being made in the market, like sugar, paper, toothpaste, sewing machines, fans, and all those. Third classification is on the basis of capital investment. How much money is being invested by me, that is the main category of classification of the industry. So number one, small scale industries. industries with the investment up to 1 crore, or this limit keep on changing over the period of time. That means small investment is made, so these industries are known as small scale industries. Second one, large scale industries. Obviously from the word, industries with investment above 1 crore, they came under the category of large scale industries. Now, on the basis of ownership. So the classification of industries on the basis of ownership means, number one, public sector. So the industries that are owned and operated by the government agencies like BHL, SAIL, all those come under the category of public sector industries. Private sector industries, as the name pronounce it, that is being owned and operated by the individuals or a group of individuals, they came under the category of private sector. For example, Tisco, Bajaj Auto, Dabur Industry, all those industries that are being privately owned by an individual or a group of individuals, that means more than one person. Joint sector venture, in this category, that is being run by the state government, that means government and the individual, they are doing the work in a joint manner, that is known as joint sector venture, like Oil India Limited. Cooperative sector, the sector that is owned and operated by the producers or the suppliers of raw material, or by the workers, or by both. So in this cooperative sector, they pool the resources, that means they collect the resource. Pool means they collect the resources and share the profit or loss. So they share profit or loss proportionately, that means they are sharing whatever is being produced by them. So they share it. Like sugar industry in Maharashtra, coir industry in Kerala. Coir industry means coconut coir that is being used in to produce. Now next category is on the basis of bulk and weight. Bulk means the weight of the raw material that is being used, and the bulk and weight of the finished goods. Now in this category, heavy industries, industries in which large machines and heavy and bulky raw materials are used to produce product which are heavy or bulky, they came under the category of heavy industries, like automobiles, construction, machinery particularly, all those, they came under the category of heavy industries. Light industries, so industries that produce light utility goods like electrical industries, toy, so these industries, they came under the category of light industries.